Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Friday, July 8th, 2016, around 5:23 in the afternoon in Billerica, Massachusetts. Mixing sun and clouds today. Little bit muggy, around 75 or so. A little bit cool in the morning. And this is going to be unsettled weekend. Maybe a chance of some rain showers, but nothing significant. Some news to report. James Brown, the host of the NFL Today on CBS, has won the 2016 Pete Rozelle Media Award for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him. The Anaheim Ducks acquired Jonathan Bernier from the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Larry Brown has resigned as head coach of the SMU's men's basketball team. And that's about it on news. My second video blog subject of the day is about the former show called Pro Wrestling This Week. Pro Wrestling This Week was on the air for about 3 years. It was a roundup of the week in pro wrestling, which lasted from 1986 through 1989. Background on Pro Wrestling This Week. Pro Wrestling This Week was hosted by Joe Pedicino and Gordon Soley, and later on it was co-hosted by Paulie Dangerously. And Pro Wrestling This Week was produced at WATL in Atlanta, Channel 36. And it was part of a 7-hour professional wrestling block which Joe Pedicino produced on Channel 69 in Atlanta. And Pro Wrestling This Week was part of that block. And it showed the pro wrestling block showed all kinds of professional wrestling across the United States, including WWE, Superstars of Wrestling, World Class Championship Wrestling, Portland, Continental, AWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions, and WWC, along with Pro Wrestling This Week. Pro Wrestling This Week was basically a wrap-up show of the latest happenings of pro wrestling during the week, and they started with all the major federations: WWE, Jim Crockett Promotions, AWA, World Class Championship Wrestling, Portland, Puerto Rico, Stampede Wrestling, Kansas City, and so many other stuff. Also, they had a segment on Pro Wrestling This Week by Bill Apter, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. They showed the top 10 match rankings and the top 10 from all the major wrestling organizations, plus most popular, most hated, and also a weekly view of the commentary of each and every pro wrestling issue. Also, they had interviews with several of the wrestlers on location. They did it for WWE, WCCW, Jim Crockett Promotions, and others. And also on Pro Wrestling This Week, they had a Mac Classic from back in the 1950s. And Pro Wrestling This Week was syndicated in many, many markets, including New York City on WPIX Channel 11, which I got to see on there for a few years. It was also in Los Angeles and all the major cities. Pro Wrestling This Week was not seen in Boston, but if it was, it'd probably be on maybe WHLL Channel 27. Pro Wrestling This Week got major ratings for being in syndication, probably in the top 15. And Joe Pedicino and Gordon Soley were a great tandem together. Also, they had a segment which the wrestling fans could send in questions, and it was read by Bonnie Blackstone, who was only in her early 20s back then. Bonnie Blackstone eventually married Joe Pedicino, and they've been married ever since. And also Rhubarb Jones, who became an announcer for WCW, actually was on Pro Wrestling This Week, and he also was the announcer for Deep South Wrestling, which Joe Pesino announced as well, and also co-owned. Pro Wrestling This Week continued to get great ratings until April of 1988, when Gordon Soley decided not to travel to Atlanta anymore. He was kind of tired, and he was fired by Paulie Dangerously, who took over as co-host of Pro Wrestling This Week. And Pro Wrestling This Week eventually lost a lot of markets because of being sent to like overnight, or some of the stations were dropping it. It ended production in 1989. And Pro Wrestling This Week, there's a lot of episodes on YouTube, and they're very, very interesting. And it was a great show. And that's about it on Pro Wrestling This Week. I'll be back with the third and final video blog of the night, which will be my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is former NHL defenseman and current head coach of the Anaheim Ducks, Randy Carlyle. Like I say, keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Bunning guy. Molly Roseblood of WCCO Accent has nice legs. Elizabeth Hart so stunning, she's the best. Amy Swansea so awesome. Linda Church of WPIX Channel 11 New York, such a cool guy. And Barbara Gibbs of ABC 11 has a sweet southern accent. And in the words of Dee Patel last week, no bust, see you later.